You're watching the Super Saturday debate here on CNN News 18. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar. It's been a month since the Congress government came to power in the state of Karnataka. The win was seen as a result of the promises they made to the voters. Essentially, the 5 big guarantees. From the free electricity scheme to money for every woman head of a household. But 1 month down, the Congress now seems to be focusing on undoing everything the previous BJP government brought in. Congress leader Dinesh Gundu spoke to News 18 and said the government will review the decisions that had been made on the hijab and halal issues and said that the Congress government will review the land allocated to the RSS and its affiliates as well. So how should we see this? Is this move by the Congress based on transparency, or is this just pure political maneuvering?
They are having the right to revise, but it should not be vindictive. It should not be with hatred. It should not be with revenge. It should not be politicized, because government has to be for all sections of society.
Pointed out, the recently established Karnataka government has signalled its intention to scrutinize a series of decisions that had been made by the previous BJP administration and potentially overturn some of them as well. So let's bring you the details of this list of bills and laws that are currently under the scanner of the newly formed Congress government in Karnataka. The Congress will review the anti-conversion and the anti-cattle slaughter bills as well. The Congress here believes the bill was an impediment to the state's progress and entails massive financial burdens. Second, the Congress also says they will look into the hijab and the halal ban as well. Third, the Congress is also now vowing to remove chapter on the RSS founder Hegrewar. The Congress's argument here is that Hegrewar essentially wasn't a freedom fighter, so why should you have a chapter around him? We're understanding the Congress also wants to stop funds for works that have been sanctioned by the BJP government. Let's also now bring in our guest to try and understand what really is happening in Karnataka. Spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, Madhu Rao, is joining us on the broadcast. Lavanya Banal is a spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress. She is joining us on the broadcast. RSS researcher and author Ratan Shada is also joining us. B.S. Arun, senior journalist, also joining us on the broadcast. Good to have all of you with us here on CNN News 18. Lavanya, I'd like to begin the conversation with you. Before I get into the specifics of all the issues that have been listed by the Congress that potentially they want to undo or currently under the scanner, I want to understand, it's only been a month since the Congress came into power in Karnataka, and I said this at the start of the show. Voters voted you for the promises that you made, essentially the big 5 guarantees. 1 month down the line, what is the priority of the Congress party? Is it the guarantees that you wanted to fulfill for the voters, or is the priority of the Congress today to just undo everything that was done in the previous regime?
Good evening. The priority of the Congress government is very clear. We promised them a corruption-free government. We also said how the 40% corruption by the BJP government has been detrimental to the state of Karnataka. So every decision that was taken by the BJP government in the last 12 months will have to be reviewed.
Okay.
And if there is a necessity to put a stop to some of these works that were sanctioned, then that needs to be reviewed and put a stop to it. At the same time, if you notice the workings of Congress government, we have started delivering all the 5 promises that was promised to the state of Karnataka. In fact, tomorrow we are launching the free red bus for the women of Karnataka. So all the 5 promises and other manifesto promises also is being delivered. But at the same time, we need to ensure a transparent government. We need to ensure if there was corruption, then those decisions should be reviewed.
No, but
and
Lavanya, there are
has
two
to be
things that you're talking about. One, of course, you're speaking about as far as the implementation of the guarantees is concerned. Now, I don't want to get into the specifics of that, but that also has come under a lot of scrutiny, specifically because of the kind of conditions that are now the Congress party is speaking about, specifically as far as the Guru Lakshmi scheme and others are concerned. But keeping that aside, I just want to understand, let's take the hijab row, for example, because that's also currently under the scan, and this is what Dinesh Gundu has spoken to us here at News 18 as well. That is something that actually reached the top court. It reached the Supreme Court and the verdict came from there. So are we now questioning the authenticity of the verdicts that have come from the top court as well? Because I thought this was just differences as far as the BJP is concerned.
Could you please repeat or play the audio bite of what Mr. Gundarao has said, especially only about the hijab row, please? Because as far as I am aware, he's spoken about certain decisions that were taken by the BJP government, like, giving the property in Devanahalli, which was about 400 crores worth, to about 50 crores to the RSS organization. I know he's spoken about that. I'm not aware of what you're talking about, the hijab row that Mr. Gundarao has spoken. I would like to understand that before I comment about it. So because I'm not aware of him making any comment about hijab.
I'm just quoting the question that was asked by a reporter was, will you also look at issues as far as the hijab and the halal row concerned? Is it a possibility that these could be overturned as well? The answer given to him was, yes, these issues will also be looked into if needed, possibly overturned as well.
He's saying, yes, the issues will be looked into, and if there is a necessity after review that it has to be overturned, then the decision will be taken. He's not spoken specifically about the hijab issue.
No,
I would like to.
No, the question was specifically asked as far as the hijab and the halal row was concerned. The RSS land was a separate issue that was asked by the reporter. The hijab and the halal issue was spoken about as well. So I'm essentially just trying to understand 1 month down the line, what is the priority as far as the Congress government is concerned?
You asked me this question in the beginning. You said, is it delivering the promises or is it reviewing the previous government's decisions? And I've made it very clear, we will be doing both and we are doing both.
Okay. Madhu Rao, let me bring you also in the conversation. The Congress is saying we are now in power. It's our prerogative to take a look as far as the report card of what was done in the past and also what more needs to be done. This is all about transparency. Why is the BJP making it political?
Well, Ridhima, good evening. I mean, I must have said several times, I think this government having got 136 seats is most rattled, perturbed and confused, mainly over the guarantee issues, because they are not able to deliver those. And it is just a deflectionary tactics by the Congress party. Of course, they are at best at. Now, why was all this required in the first place? That's simply because they are not able to deliver on the promises what they have made on the 5 guarantees. As simple as that. Now look at what is happening. The left hand does not know what the right hand is doing in the Congress. Our minister says, Mr. Venkatesh says, why should we slaughter only buffaloes? We should slaughter also the cows. And another person comes and says, we will take over the lands. And another person comes and says, we will overhaul the textbooks. I mean, see, the point is only so much. They are playing for the galleries, for sure. It is an appeasement politics.
Okay.
The methodology adopted by the Congress party is when they are not able to perform, when they are not able to answer certain things, then they will deflect over other issues, which they are best doing at. Why was all this required at this point of time? My question is only simple. And suppose they're asking for a land allotment which is done to Sangh or RSS.
Okay.
I would ask the Congress party, please take up the Anwar Malipadi report also. Please take up Kempanna Commission report also. Do from 1947. What about the Waqf properties? Who are all the congressmen who are involved?
Okay.
Please do it. Instead of concentrating on governance issues, I think the Congress party is confused. Therefore, they're best in diverting the issues. Therefore, they're best doing it. I mean, I'm really surprised within a month. You look at what has happened. 2.89 per unit electricity.
Lavanya, quick rebuttal. Is this just a diversionary tactic because the Congress is unable to deliver on the promises that they made? And then I want to bring in our other guests as well.
Yeah, well, we have been delivering the promises, and I don't know if the BJP spokesperson lives in Karnataka or not, because if you notice, tomorrow we are delivering the fifth promise of the free bus travel for the women, and it is our duty when we are in governance, well administration, to make sure that if there has
Why
been
has the
corruption
electricity bill
committed
increased by
on the state of
2.89?
Karnataka, to set the record right. It is
Why
our
the
duty,
electricity prices
and
have
we'll
been
do it.
increased?
That's
Okay,
part
okay,
of the
okay.
administration, and we should be doing
Why
that.
have you put
Madhu
conditions
Rao,
on
let her
rupees
finish her
2,000
point.
rupees?
No, let's not speak over one against each other. Ratan Shada, I want to bring you also in the conversation. Another point that is under the scrutiny as far as the Congress is concerned is land that has been allotted to affiliates of the RSS. They feel that favoritism has been done and we want to take a look at it, and everything is being done transparently. Now, this comes, of course, 24 hours later after that entire controversy of a chapter over Hegrewar, the founder of the RSS. How do you see the move by the Congress?
Well, Congress says this new Congress that is now under Rahul is so full of vendetta that they will try to do whatever to somehow show their vote bank that they are strict against RSS. This has been done in MP, this is done in Rajasthan earlier on. And let me remind them, RSS is not an illegal organization like PFR, their affiliate SDPI with whom they have friendship and they have indirect alliances. RSS is a legal organization, its affiliates are legal organizations. They have a right to conduct various programs and also run schools and whatever they're doing because they're all doing for good of the country. They follow law, they follow constitution. This kind of threat is only empty. For 70 years after independence, RSS has been establishing, growing in multiple ways against very animosity-filled Congress governments and secular governments. Nehru tried his best to crush it. Indiraji tried her lot. Finally, she relented that she had done something wrong.
Okay.
Not only that, in 1975, maximum number of volunteers, 80% were from RSS. They tried their community possibly could not do anything. So this effort to crush RSS is nothing new. And they had given up, unfortunately, Rahul Gandhi, JNU kind of friends who believe that this is the only way to RSS. They cannot because despite all the opposition for 70 years.
Okay.
Before 2000, when they talk about these issues, have they taken such strong action against PFI? No. Did they not tie up with SDPI? Yes, they did. Directly, indirectly. This is all trying to play to the gallery.
Okay.
And RSS will fight its way. They have tried this game also. This did not succeed. And as if the RSS has robbed some land or something. No, you give land to all the organizations, registered organizations. So some registered organizations may have received in there. Karnataka anywhere, and there are affiliated organizations running for 50 years, 30 years, 50 years. Balal doesn't know this.
Okay, so Ratan Shahada is saying this is just vendetta politics. This is cheap gimmickry. This is vendetta politics. Are you comparing the RSS to the PFI? I'll let Lavanya respond to that in just a bit, but I want to bring in B.S. Arun also in the conversation.
Okay. Remember.
Yes, yes.
Their indirect alliance partner.
Okay, Ratan Shah, the point taken. I want to bring in B.S. Arun also in the conversation, who's been patiently waiting. I want to understand from you, optically speaking, how do you see the priority as far as the Congress is concerned? As I said, they had a clear mandate. It was a majority that they won because of the promises that they made and the want that the people of Karnataka want in terms of change as far as the new government is concerned. How do you see the priority of the Congress party today?
So the priority has to be the administration, the governance, the people's problems. Now, half of Karnataka is reeling under, shortage of water. No drinking water in cities like Mangalore. This is the priority that the government should be addressing. There are many issues like this, and monsoon also is setting in Karnataka. And what are the requirements that are done, to ensure that, say for example, a city like Bangalore would not be, engulfed by the rainwater like it happened last time.
Yeah.
So there are issues. There are many issues that concerns, the real administration, for which the government has to, take stock of the situation, call up the meetings, call the meetings of different, the ministers and the officials. Instead of that, if you, involve in vendetta politics or ensuring that, all the decisions will be reviewed, all the decisions that are taken in the last 1 year should be reviewed. Fine. I think I'm not against the review of these decisions if they are not legally done, if they're not transparently done. But then, address the problems which are at hand, address the
Okay.
problems which need immediate attention of the government.
Yeah.
I think that is the priority that the government should be addressing. Now, they have given the 5 guarantees and they are busy in addressing them also. That's fine, because the government wants to ensure that
Sure.
those the fruits of those guarantees should be reaching the people at the earliest. And
Yeah.
that would be welcome.
Okay.
But then there are also problems there. Every day, each ministry is giving,
Yeah.
one condition in addition to the other. And at the same time, we have several ministers speaking out of turn. Out of turn means, the issues.
That's
which,
exactly what
they
I
are
was
not
trying to
directly
understand
concerned
from Lavanya a short while ago, that even as the implementation of the guarantees are concerned, we seem to be seeing a lot of back and forth just in terms of the caveats or the conditions that are being implied with that. But Lavanya, I want to understand 2 aspects from you. One, just these specific issues which seem to be under the scanner as far as the Congress is concerned, where the Congress is saying we'll possibly review them. If there is a need, we'll overturn them. For one of the examples there is as far as the cow slaughter bill is concerned. Now, when we had your Minister Venkatesh speak about it a few days ago, you in fact had Randeep Singh Surjewala step in and actually reprimand your own minister, saying you shouldn't be speaking out of turn. You focus just as far as the implementation and the administration work on the ground is concerned. At that time, it almost looks like there is a divided house as far as within the Congress is concerned.
Well, here is what I would like to ask the BJP. Who is the leader of opposition? 1 month down the line with 6 to 6 MLAs, you do not have leader of opposition. The previous speaker was talking about how there should be review meetings. Sir, I would like to remind you, review meetings have been happening for the past 20 days as soon as the cabinet was formed. Review meetings of every portfolio, every department has been going on.
Okay.
And when the review meetings are happening, we are also, if you look at DK Shivkumar, who is in charge of the Bangalore zone, Bangalore district, he's also traveled by the BMTC bus to check the different things that is happening in Bangalore, to check the flood situation and everything. So the review meetings as to what is to happen in the state has been going on. But when you talk about
Lavanya, just help me understand this, and I apologize for interrupting you. I just want to understand. Yes. I'm coming to you only. I just want to understand one clarification from what you said. This decision that was taken to review all these decisions were taken post-elections or pre-elections? Was this an afterthought, or was this always a plan as far as the Congress party is concerned?
If you look at the Congress campaign, we have always been talking about how the BJP ran a 40% Sarkara in the state. So when people are asking, is that a priority? Yes. When a 40% commission Sarkar has functioned in the state of Karnataka, it has set the state back by a few years, if not a decade. So it is our duty to ensure we bring Karnataka state back on track to the year 2023 in terms of development. So it is our duty to deliver development to the people of Karnataka. So if that means reviewing decisions which led to corrupt practices by the BJP government, we have to do that.
Okay. I want to bring back the BJP spokesperson, Madhu. What I essentially want to understand is the Congress is saying today we are in part, we formed the newly formed government. How we take the decisions is our prerogative. One, the BJP should not interfere. Secondly, look at the examples that they're giving you. For example, as far as the cow slaughter bill is concerned, the Congress is saying that we feel this was a decision that wasn't in the favor as far as the farmers are concerned. They also feel that it wasn't a very financial wise decision. So why should the Congress, which is in power today, not have the right to review these decisions?
Well, I think the Congress spokesperson perhaps does not know the law. Perhaps they may have to ask that battery of lawyers as to what the law is. I think we are very clear on the aspect of cow slaughter. The Supreme Court, in a 6-1 judgment in state of Gujarat versus Moti Qureshi case, where they have specifically told all forms of cow slaughter is banned. And if the Congress government dares to do it, well, fair enough, it is unconstitutional. The courts are there, the courts will look into it. But then the fact of the matter remains, they can't do vendetta politics. They have to do under the constitutional norms. They can't do to their whims and fancies. There are courts, there are high courts, there are Supreme Court, which they do not believe in, perhaps. So therefore, to say all such things, I think it's beyond comprehension. Point one. Point two, I was just listening to one of the comments made by the Congress party spokesperson as to who is your LOP. I mean, I really do not want to take pot shots at her to ask when will Rahul Gandhi again come back to parliament. So let's not get into that. Point two. Point three, I mean, the fact of the matter remains that the Congress government now should answer to the people's questions. Now, what are those questions? Why has the Congress government raised?
But Madhu, the same question can be asked to
per
the
unit?
BJP as well. The Congress will, if they do not deliver, they will not come back into power. The same question can be asked to the BJP, that should your focus also be
Now
on
that
what
we
the
have lost,
Congress is doing, or should
Ridhima,
you focus on working so
Ridhima,
that you can come back to power the next time around?
Ridhima, now that we have lost, we accepted our defeat. Let the government function.
Okay.
Let the government perform. Why are they so rattled? I mean, this is the first time that a government getting 136 seats is being rattled within a months of being election results coming out.
Okay.
I really don't understand.
Okay,
Look
Madhu.
at the statement even the Mr. Siddaramaiah is giving.
Madhu, unfortunately, I will have to leave that conversation there. Weeks to come will help us understand what is the kind of implementation of the guarantees that happen and which way the politics of Karnataka really goes on. I'll have to thank all our guests. We've completely run out of time. We have to shift our focus to some other breaking developments coming in. Home Minister Amit Shah has torn into Rahul Gandhi, saying he goes abroad and insults India. Taking a jibe at the Congress leader, the Home Minister said no one really listens to Rahul in India. That's why he goes abroad.
एक और मोदी जी को दुनिया में सम्मान मिल रहा है और दूसरी ओर कांग्रेस के शाहजादे राहुल बाबा विदेश जाकर देश का अपमान करने का काम करते हैं। अरे राहुल बाबा, विदेश में जाकर देश की राजनीति की बात, विरोध की बात नहीं करते। ये सालों से परिपाटी है। आपको मालूम न हो तो तनिक सीनियर कांग्रेसियों को पूछ लीजिए।
Let's also now bring in our colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who is joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, is the Congress reacting to what the Home Minister has said?
No, not really, but I'm sure they are going to anytime soon. But this is something which they've always made the point, because the criticism of Rahul Gandhi as someone who goes abroad and runs down the government has been made every time he actually goes abroad. And this time round also, after his 2 to 3 rounds of talk in San Francisco, at the Stanford University, the National Press Club, he kept on making the point that, all is not well in our country. The government's point, and S. Jayashankar, I think, made one of the most strongest comments, is that, there are some things you just don't do. You don't run down your country when you're abroad. You may have your political differences, but this is not what is correct, because it only emboldens your enemies across the border.
Pallavi, we leave the conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. Shifting our focus to some other breaking developments now coming in. We're now understanding at least 27 people were killed after remnants of an old bomb exploded in Somalia. The blast killed 27 people, mostly children, and took place in Somalia's Lower Shabelle region. CNN is reporting that at least 53 people also sustained injuries due to this blast. Abhishek Jha, our colleague, is now joining us on the broadcast. Abhishek, what are the kind of details that you're picking up, injuries and the unfortunate deaths that are being reported as well?
So this injuries have come from a mortar shell that was not being fired by someone, but it was there hidden somewhere, and it blew off, and the people who were standing nearby, who were present in the nearby, they sustained injury. About 4 dozen people, they have been injured severely. About 37 people are killed. This is the latest that we are learning, and it's been almost 24 hours since that last blast has happened. We know that Somalia remains a very restive province where so many factions have been fighting for dominance, and so many terrorist organizations. In fact, so many incidences of violence has happened in the recent weeks that United Nations and other nations have also expressed concern over the deteriorating internal security situation in Somalia. So we'll have to see whether this will be the last incident, or some more casualty figures will come up as a result of the last blast.
So, Abhishek, as you pointed out, we'll still have to wait for an update as far as the casualty numbers are concerned. Those who have been injured, what are the kind of arrangements that have been made? And talk to us about the specific area where this explosion has happened.
So the incident has happened in Al-Shabaab area, which is near Mogadishu, the capital city of Somalia. But then the number of people who have been injured, some of them are really critical. So we will have to wait about the further details, because it's been almost 24 hours. Initially, it was believed that about 18 people have been killed, but now the number has clearly risen to 37. A few more critically injured people are, they might, so the fatalities might go up. So we'll have to wait for further information from the medical staff.
Okay, Abhishek, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. With that, it's a wrap from my side. We're slipping into a very short break. Thanks a lot for watching.